we'll see them back at the service line, but aggressive serving away from libero Nico Paula, and controlling the net both offensively and blocking.
Oscar Berg Mikkelsen with the first serve of the game for the Ramblers. The attack by Cameron Hoying got blocked. Smits Van Ooyen goes over to Fabakovic, who picks up the opening point. And Daniel Fabakovic struggling a little bit overall with his hitting percentage at .258, but we know how good he really can be.
Yeah, that was a nice cross-court attack there. It seems like it's taken him and Smits Van Ooyen a little bit of time to get that timing down, you know, with Smits Van Ooyen stepping in mid-season. So we'll see how that hit connection works this match.
We had a service error to make it 1-1. And serving first for Lewis is Sean Baggs Jr., who didn't play against Lindenwood, but he's second in the nation in blocks per set. Does have 3 aces on the year. Back row right attack by Shosha. And led to an overpass, and Aiden Klein, how good has he been? Double-figure kills in 3 consecutive matches, including a career-high 12 in the victory against McKendree.
Another who's in the top 20 nationally and the top 3 or 4 in the MEVO. We're going to see a really fun middle hit pairing here with Aiden Klein and Sean Baggs, who just served for Lewis.
Serve by Smits Van Ooyen goes into the net, so we're tied at 2. And Lewis, go ahead, Stephanie.
I was just going to say 2 missed serves into the net. You know, we're going to see aggressive serving from both sides, but we want those misses to be out over the net and long for both teams. Coaches are looking for over the net. If you're going to miss long.
Lewis lost in 3 sets both of their matches last week at Lindenwood and at McKendree. Of course, Lindenwood also picked up a 4-set win over Loyola. Loyola was able to bounce back with a sweep at McKendree for a 1-1 start in conference play. Middle, Aiden Klein, .531 hitting percentage, and showing why.
Yeah, leads the MEVA in hitting percentage, and I think I've said in other matches we've commentated, if I had a pass anywhere in front of the 10-foot line with Aiden Klein in the front row, I would find him as a setter. So great job to Smits Van Ooyen and Loyola for setting that up for Klein.
Fabakovic the serve, and he'll pick up the ace. Fabakovic's 5th ace of the season. And one thing that Shane Davis was talking to us about earlier in the year was Fabakovic working on more heat on his serve. Not quite a heater on that one.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you expect that heat serve coming in, and that changeup is what catches you back on your heels. So really smart, aggressive serving doesn't always mean the hardest serve. It could mean putting it in a spot where no one's expecting it.
Shosha off the block and down. 3 points in a row for the Ramblers, and they now lead 5-2.
And that was another very disruptive serve from Fabakovic. A short roll shot brings an overpass to Loyola, and they're able to capitalize eventually. Great serve, though, brought that in.
Fabakovic with his 2nd ace out of 3 serves. Lewis had trouble on the serve receive last week. They gave up 14 aces in 3 sets to Lindenwood and 5 in the prior match that they lost against McKendree. So 19 aces over 6 sets in conference play. That'll go on. Oh, it was dug by Soa. Shosha, the attack. Put into the block by Dejan Todorov. Playing on that left side for Lewis. There's Schellinger against a triple block, and that'll be an attack error for the first time today for Loyola.
A little bit of conversation here about whether Lewis might have been in the net, might not have been in the net, and some discrepancy between the Loyola athletes saying, I'm not sure. So ultimately, no challenge. You know, you're up by 3 already. Is this the right time to burn a challenge? If you're wrong, coach decides not.
Dejan Todorov with the serve, a 6'5" junior from Bulgaria. Van Ooyen in the back set to Shosha. And not able to dig it cleanly is Nico Paula, who was an honorable mention All-American last year at libero for the Flyers. 7-3 Ramblers.
Very solid in the back row, but ultimately not able to pick up that heat by Shosha. But a great job by Smits Van Ooyen to go what we call against the flow. He's running towards the outside hitter and kicks it to his right side.
Here's Aiden Klein, who has been terrific at the service line as well this year. Has a nice up as well. Estrada sets it for Daniel Haber to the floor when Fabakovic pushed over to Schellinger, who goes cross court for the termination. And Loyola seems to be season, obviously, but when you look at the coaches poll, you have 6 MIVA teams plus a team, Purdue-Fort Wayne, getting votes. So such a strong conference the MIVA is, as we are back into action, and that'll be 8-4. So a side out of the timeout for the Flyers.
And a nice job there by Lewis to use high hands, so they noticed that the block was a little bit late closing, ultimately able to go off Schillinger's hands, so Fabakovic wasn't able to return it.
Ramblers number 8 in the country, Lewis number 14. Smits Van Ooyen goes to Mikkelsen, who's getting the start in the spot of Brad Bell, who is in uniform today, but did not play the last time out on the road. Don't have an official report on him. And Shosha, too strong with the serve. So it'll be 9-5.
Yeah, just wide there, but that's exactly what we were talking about in terms of a good miss. Out by maybe 6 inches, make the other team decide whether your serve is in or out. So while long, that was a really nice serve by Shosha.
Diego Estrada back to serve, junior from Puerto Rico. They fake the quick to Mikkelsen and go out wide instead to Schillinger, who picks up his second kill.
Yeah, and setter Smits Van Ooyen and outside hitter Schillinger for Loyola have very good timing, and it's evident when you can see that quick set where there's no block for Lewis. Schillinger can hit line, cross. That's a fantastic play for Loyola.
Schillinger, after missing the first couple of matches of the season, as that will be tipped in and be point for Lewis. He's got 10 or more kills in 4 straight. The transfer All-American from UC San Diego.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch, Scott. He not only is very effective in the front row, but he's a good passer, server, and just kind of that team glue, kind of like Coach talked about Sawa being glue of the team. Schillinger's up in everyone's face saying, we've got this, let's go.
Haber the serve, wide down the sideline. So 11-6 Loyola. Ramblers come in 4th in the nation in kills per set. 12.94 per set, hitting .321 as a team, which is 12th in the nation and 3rd in the conference. Service error by Mikkelsen, so that is the 4th for the Ramblers. They do have 2 aces.
But 4 of those missed serves, 3 have been into the net. So 3 of Lewis's 7 points, Loyola has essentially rolled the ball back under the net and said here. So we want to see them make better hand contact on the service line.
Bags with the serve, Van Ooyen to Fabakovic, tipped off the block, kept alive by Estrada. Free ball for the Ramblers. Van Ooyen, back row attack by Schillinger. With 23 kills, 17 digs, 4 blocks in the first 2 conference games of the season last week.
And that's a nice run by Loyola and Smits Van Ooyen. He has 3 live front row attackers who Lewis was watching and uses the back row, so that sneaky Bick, that back row quick, really smart set choice.
Alex Smits Van Ooyen serves it long, not giving us a lot of time to talk about him. He's, of course, filling in at the center position in place of Ryan McElligott, who got injured the first weekend of the season, and all Van Ooyen has done is lead or be 2nd in the nation in assists per set and lead the conference.
Yeah, not bad overall, and that's just credit to him. Coach said that he's got a high volleyball IQ, likes watching film. He's kind of a student of the game, and they can see that on the court.
An ace for the Flyers for the first time today. Off the hand of Cameron Hoying, his 6th this season. Redshirt sophomore, 6'9" from Columbus, Ohio. Schillinger on the serve receive. Van Ooyen back set. Fabakovic. Loyola gets it again. Klein kept alive off the block. And this play will move on. We'll see maybe if Loyola doesn't get the point. They may go back and challenge that interaction there just at the net a few moments ago. We continue on. Klein. Paula puts it in the air. Back row right attack by Hoying, and it's point Loyola. So if there was going to be a challenge, no use for it now.
And I think those 2 things are things that we might not be able to challenge. So they're looking at a lift. That's a judgment call by the ref.
Yes.
Maybe a double contact coming over the net, which is not legal, but the ref's allowing play to go on. If they can't make a decisive call that there was a prolonged contact with the ball, they're going to let them play through.
Fabakovic does switch it up on that serve. A little more speed. An attack error, 14-9 Loyola.
Yeah, that one looked like Lewis was targeting the seam in the block. Aiden Klein working to get over there, but a small seam. Lewis, though, hits the ball wide, so kind of lucky break there for Loyola and a close call there on Lewis's side.
Loyola hitting .381 to begin the match. Lewis is at 0, 2 kills and 2 errors. Another good serve by Fabakovic. Shosha, and over the block and heads out of bounds. No touch by the flyer block.
Yeah, a little bit of missed contact there by Shosha. Hand just hit the ball weird. We don't see him do that often, really. He's normally point for point straight down.
Todorov back on the serve for Lewis. And returns with a service error.
Yeah, that one quite long. It looked like his toss got away from him a little bit, so he just sent that ball sailing. Not a hard call on Loyola's side.
Here comes Lucas Anderson, who had an ace in the match at McKendree. Has 4 on the season. Junior from Manhattan Beach, California. Left side attack by Haber. Schellinger to the floor. Shosha tips it. Flying in, putting it over Todorov. Anderson getting involved on defense. Hoying goes line, out of bounds.
Great defense all around, though. Those hits are coming in hard and hot. We had great digs by Nico Paulo Libero on Lewis's side. A great line call there by Anderson, who was standing there. That ball's coming in quick and able to identify that it's out.
Lucas Anderson the serve. Van Ooyen able to get to the line, and then Schellinger, the better of the joust. Triple block going up against Haber. Try it again, double block this time. Back row, Fabakovic, and that's going to go out of bounds. And Fabakovic with his second kill. He's also just a lot of similar opponents and just a lot of mixing and matching with the results, you could say. As the block for the Ramblers, the first block point that either team has had.
And a great serve by Anderson leads to Lewis only being able to set the outside, and Loyola establishing a very solid block there with a 7-2 and a 6-8 blocker.
Loyola is 3rd in the conference in blocks per set. Stephanie mentioned that Lewis is #1 in the conference and 3rd in the nation in that category. Well, Loyola now has built a 9-point advantage.
I think the tallest player on the court is 6'9" behind #5 Mikkelsen. So that's a 5-inch difference plus an arm span. Probably 7-10-inch difference there. So it's really fun to see difference in height and what it can do.
Anderson got 5 serves. Service error there ends the run, 19-11.
Yeah, but we talk about when those serving specialists come in, what coaches are looking for is that they make their first serve, maybe earn 1 point for their team. So to serve 5, that's very well done by Anderson and Loyola to keep Anderson back at the line.
Here's Frederick Kruger-Beer. Second team all-conference last year when he was a redshirt freshman. And Loyola 220. And Alexander Shosha back to serve.
In the net there again, we've seen quite a few of those nets. They're trying to change up their serves deep and then a change up. Both Lewis and Loyola kind of playing with serve speed.
Estrada. A long pass over to Haber. Tipped over by Van Ooyen. Van Ooyen now sets for Schellinger and went through the block and then off of Haber. And Schellinger is 4 for 6 with 1 error so far today.
And again, that speed to the outside by Smits Van Ooyen to Schellinger. He's up already almost before the setter even makes contact. Lewis is not able to get a block in front of Schellinger right now.
Shosha, 60 miles per hour on the radar gun on that one. Right side attack. Cameron Hoying picks up his 3rd kill.
And that was well run there. There was a small seam in the block, and he was able to hit it right past Sawa and Fabakovic, who were great in the back row on Loyola's side. So really well hit ball by Hoying.
Loyola's led the entire way, tied 1-1 and 2-2. So the Ramblers started to pull away. Now down to an 8-point difference on the attack error.
Just a bit long there for Shosha. We've seen him hit 2 or 3 out. We'll see if that settles down just a little bit, but Schillinger hitting very well. We'll see if they find him or #5 Mikkelsen in the front row on Loyola's side.
Another serve by Estrada. And Oyen saves it back from Mikkelsen. And he has his second kill.
Great job again. Smits Van Oyen have called his name a few times here, but great one-handed save. Also well done, though, by Mikkelsen for being there. Sometimes middles kind of abandon their setter in that situation. So a nice run by Mikkelsen going in for that quick ball and terminating.
Van Oyen had only played 4 matches in his career before now taking over the starting role at setter over the last 9 matches. Started his career at UC Santa Barbara before joining Loyola last year. As we'll see Daniel Haber serving 22-14 Loyola. Haber's had 3 or more aces on a couple of occasions this season. A senior from Ramsonburg, New York. And we'll rack one up there to make it 22-15.
Lewis has done a nice job targeting zone 5 as that far corner of the court for Loyola where Fabakovic or Schillinger typically pass out of before they go hit. You're making that front row outside pass to attack, and they've had some success serving into that corner.
Second ace of the first set for the Flyers. Haber, Fabakovic on the serve receive, gets it back from Van Oyen. Nico Paula sprawls forward for the up, and then tooled off the block by Todorov.
Nico Paula, again, we talked about him at the beginning being a high-quality senior libero. Another great dig there to keep the ball alive and help Lewis earn that point. It's a very fast-tempoed outside sets.
Lewis struggled defensively last Friday at Lindenwood. Lindenwood hit .565 against the Flyers last week. For comparison, Loyola allowed Lindenwood to hit .263 in the match that they lost to the Lions. With Lindenwood beginning their season 2-0. And they're now ranked number 13 in the country, 1 spot behind McKendree. Estrada checks the net, goes to Sean Baggs Jr., who picks up the kill. Redshirt junior from Gilbert, Arizona.
Baggs has done a nice job being available and turning his hit to the right back. Traditionally, setters and right sides are used to getting a lot of passes, but they're also busy wanting to go hit and set. They're doing a nice job targeting the right back there where the ball has fallen quite a few times.
Here's Tyler Walenga, a redshirt sophomore, Frankfort, Illinois, out of Lincoln Way East High School. Coming in to serve with 4 aces against 3 errors on the year. Soa on the serve receive. Van Oyen goes to Shosha. We talk about it every time we're here about Shosha and that back row right attack that he is so strong with. We don't have a breakdown of the numbers, but for the year he's hitting .321. I would suspect that the number is higher, though, from that spot on the floor.
Yeah, him and Smits Van Oyen have very good timing with that right back set, so it's just...
They do have a win over Stanford this year. Won that in 3. Gonna have a late change to the lineup here for Lewis, and Diego Estrada, something may have happened to him during the warm-up here before the set got underway, because he comes walking off the floor, hanging his head and shaking it. Yeah, there he is. He didn't necessarily see anything specifically.
And I would assume here that we'll see number 2, Cameron Hoying, potentially take over hands.
Let's see, Fabakovic on the first attack. And got a net violation by Lewis. Cole Schweitzer is the one who came in for the Flyers, replacing Estrada there at the last moment. Todorov with the tip. Soa, the set for Fabakovic against the triple block, out of bounds.
It's the first time all match that we've seen a solid triple block on the Lewis side. Forces the Loyola hit out of bounds. Fabakovic missed by quite a bit, but you're going for high hands. So sometimes it looks like a wild hit, but you might have only missed the block by an inch or 2.
Here's Sean Baggs Jr. Couple of kills and a dig so far. Missed the match at Lindenwood last week. Ranked 2nd in the nation in blocks per set. Shosha the tip. The sliding cover there by Schweitzer, but Lewis can't get it over the net.
Yeah, well handled by Shosha. That set was a little bit high. Loyola has been running that quick set to the outside, and that one caught him off guard, but a nice aggressive tip earns the point.
Fabakovic will serve at a couple of aces his first time around on the serve. Also has 3 kills and 2 digs today. The 2-time second-team All-American in his junior year. Todorov blocked easily by Klein and Shosha.
A nice serve by Fabakovic, pulls the ball off the net just a little bit on Lewis's side. And I think Hoying, the setter for Lewis, put that ball a little bit too tight, essentially a trap set. Didn't allow the outside hitter to have much room to hit around that very well-established Loyola block.
Third block point for the Ramblers, as Fabakovic puts a little extra on it. And that's a cross-court termination. Nicely done by Daniel Haber, our player that we spotlighted in the Open.
He's been not quiet. He definitely has some stats, but moving up in terms of the hitting. Great cross-court shot there. They ran him out of that right side, the D ball, we call that on the back side there. Nice cross-court shot.
He's had 10 attacks to lead the Flyers so far. Klein picks up his 3rd kill. And Aiden Klein with 22 kills and 5 blocks over the first 2 matches of conference play. He's 4th in the conference in blocks. He's had 10 or more kills in 3 straight matches. He also had a couple of 4 ace matches against Manhattan and UC San Diego this year. And Van Ooyen hits the floor hard.
Yeah, and Schillinger there, I think they got caught up there chasing the ball down.
Looks like they're both okay, and maybe the one time this year they haven't been on the same page.
Yeah, they've been clicking very well. But there was a point there, Loyola had a nice job with the triple block to the outside where it looked like Smith-Van for a hot minute maybe forgot he was getting the next ball. So he was running over to kind of get that ball out of the way. Schillinger also identified it. They're both kind of heading in that same direction. And it does happen to the best of us where we get tangled up with one another.
Todorov with the serve. Fabakovic goes over and dunked down for the Lewis point.
Nice serve by Lewis
Haber
there to generate that overpass. Smith-Van Ooyen on Loyola's side, the setter is back row, so he can't block that. So that's a free point essentially for the Flyers. It's not an ace, but you are earning the point with that very disruptive serve here.
So Haber gets his 2nd kill off that. Van Ooyen gets it back to Schillinger, who pushes it into the block. Haber, dig in the back by Fabakovic. Now the middle, it's Kruger-Beer for the point.
Lewis clicking a little bit better in the first few points here. It will be important for Loyola to settle down and kind of break up that momentum that the Flyers are starting to build.
That's their first lead of the day, 5-4 here in the 2nd set. Off Kruger-Beer's first kill. They're served by Todorov. Shosha. Back row attack, Todorov. And a miscue by the Ramblers. And Lewis now 6-4. The advantage. Getting some momentum now.
Really nice dig in the middle by Fabakovic and a great run by Lewis, who, again, they're hitting the ball in the 2nd contact, which is a really interesting play. We haven't seen much this season. Both sides taking advantage of that option.
4 straight points for the Flyers. Schillinger off the Soa set into the triple block, and Lewis has its first block point, and the Flyers have reeled off 5 straight.
Good block touches that weren't earned points, but where you're shutting down the offense for Loyola. So the momentum has shifted a little bit here, but we know volleyball's a game where it could shift right back.
5th serve for Dejan Todorov. Shosha off the block, and it goes out of bounds, so the run ends there, but Lewis seizing some control. 7-5, the Flyers lead.
And Lewis not surprised that Loyola went to their all-around stud hitter, Shosha, who's able to earn the point. Lewis was ready to block him, but Shosha able to tool it.
And that goes off of Paula, and the ace for Shosha as he picks up his team-high 13th ace this season.
You know, Paula just not able to pull his arms out of the way quickly enough, and it clips his hands. Point Shosha.
And goes to a similar direction, but wide of the sideline there. Haber let it go.
Yeah, very close, though. A good miss, as we've talked about, over the net, very close to the line. Lewis, honestly, probably a little bit lucky that that ball ended up being wide because they were not fully on the line.
Frederick Kruger-Beer back to serve. Out of Wauwatosa East High School from Milwaukee. Mikkelsen. Well, early on here in his career, he now ties his career high with 3 kills, the freshman from Copenhagen.
And I like that he pounded that ball, turned around to his team, and immediately cheered and said, let's go. Loyola needs to build a little bit of that energy on their side.
8-7 Lewis here in the second set. Schellinger the serve. Hoying sets it for Schweitzer, and Mikkelsen involved in the block along with Vabakovic.
It's almost not fair. He can take 2 less steps than everybody else on the court to get there. But important to know, sometimes being tall, it doesn't always make you faster. He's doing a very good job quickly closing the block. Vabakovic stepping in to seal with him and creating a wall.
And again, he's seeing more time with Brad Bell right now in uniform, but not playing. Did not play the last match for the Ramblers as well. Cole Schweitzer goes back to serve. Redshirt junior from Middleton, Wisconsin. Has 7 aces on the year. He had 10 kills in the opening week of NEVA play in the 2 matches. We'll have a service error. And it's 9-9. And quickly, Dan Friend is going to challenge that serve that was on the far side from our vantage point that they think it was in.
Yeah, a few of the Lewis players put their hands up saying maybe it would be in to me, and we're very far away. It's not our angle by any means. It looked out, but it also looks to me like Dan Friend wants to talk to the team. So whether this is a challenge or a mini timeout, he's over here coaching the team immediately, up in people's face saying like, hey, here's what we need to be doing. Here's what you should be doing. Here's who they're going to set. Get your block here. So.
Well, that view will unfortunately get blocked out by Schellinger.
There's Shosha in the way, but there are other camera angles at the gym as well. So we might not be seeing the angle that the refs are looking at in terms of the camera angles that they're able to view. If they're not able to view it, though, Scott, they won't overturn it. They have to have undisputable evidence in order to overturn that call.
If every angle is blocked, then nothing you can do about it.
Either way, I think this challenge will have served its purpose on Lewis's side because Coach has been talking to his team nonstop. Ooh.
So as we always say, there are looks that we don't necessarily have. Let's see this. Yeah, okay. Now we can see where the call definitely came from.
Look at that net cam helping us on the sideline.
I wrote off the net cam here, not thinking it would have that good of a view. And there we are. So that reverses it to make it 10-8. So a good challenge, and Lewis will still have 3 remaining. And they got a timeout out of it, basically.
Yeah.
Shosha. And now side out Loyola, 10-9.
And that's important on Loyola's side to get Shosha going. Not that they didn't try in the first set. Timing was just a little bit off. He was hitting, maybe aiming for high hands and missing. So getting a few of those kills under Shosha's belt and getting him going might be the difference for Loyola in this set.
He has 6 kills. He's already tied his season high with 3 blocks in today's match. Back row attack from that right side. This time it's Cole Schweitzer for Lewis.
And sometimes teams will say, you did that, we can do it too. And so there we see that right back attack followed by a right back attack. I like when the teams go back and forth.
Daniel Haber will serve. 2 for 12 hitting the ball today, just 1 error. Does have an ace. Vabakovic next to Schellinger. Hoying, back set, Schweitzer again, blocked. Good cover though by Hoying. Hoying gets a hand on it, played over by Haber. Van Ooyen, back set Shosha. And before the triple block can fully come together, Shosha finds the soft spot and picks up his 7th kill.
A nice job by Vabakovic early on to get 2 blocks there, and then Shosha there to pass to attack. He passed that own free ball up to Spitz Van Ooyen and then ran that right back attack there to earn the point.
11-10 off of Shosha's 7th kill of the night. Alex Spitz Van Ooyen back to serve. And Haber, maybe, I'm not sure if in the last moment there he didn't want to make the play on it because he had Nico Paula there as well, and Van Ooyen has the ace.
And Nico Paula says, I got that, but Van Ooyen's kind of laughing at himself. I think that serve got away from him, and sometimes you're thinking, oh, that's going long, and someone saves you essentially by putting their hands in front.
Third ace of the season for Van Ooyen. Haber the tip, and Van Ooyen out of bounds. So Lewis back in front, 12-11.
And Van Ooyen really laying it out across the court, trying to pick different things up and scramble. I don't think that's Van Ooyen's ball. I think that the right front or the left back, left front should be stepping in and taking that ball for him and letting Van Ooyen go set the ball. I mean, we saw Shosha say, hey, my bad, I'll get that ball.
Bags the serve. Soa to Van Ooyen to Fabakovic, blocked back. Quickly Klein, and Aiden Klein with his fourth kill.
Yeah, really well done there. The ball came back quickly on Loyola's side, so for Klein to get back up here real fast, you see it, a quick back side set almost from Van Ooyen, and Klein there to slam the ball down. Again, anytime Klein's front row and you can get him the ball, he's hitting 666 on the match. That's above his season hitting percentage of 531. I would feed Klein every single ball that I could. Even if the other team knew where I was going, I would set Aiden Klein.
We're now tied for the 5th time here in the second set. Fabakovic goes short. Paula steps up for it. Hoying feeding Kruger Beer.
And Aiden Klein almost there, but Kruger Beer able to push it off of his right hand, tool the block, and earn the point.
And Hoying goes back to serve. Now has 4 assists in the match. 3 digs, an ace, and 3 kills. Haven't seen Diego Estrada back in the match since he was out there to begin the second set, and then right before the set began, walked off the floor, a little dejected. Not sure what happened. And Lucas Anderson, who I think was 5 serves his first time around, will he'll be happy with 2 or 3 this time. And he'll get a second as he picks up the ace. His 5th this season.
Yeah, and Lewis there didn't follow the ball all the way to the line, clipped, right on the line. I'm not sure there was even an inch to spare in terms of that serve location. So a great rip by Anderson.
Loyola's first lead since it was 4-3. Todorov at the block. Shosha rejected. Schweitzer and Kruger Beer for Lewis's second block point.
And both of those come down and kind of cheer, pump each other up like, yes, we got it. You can cheer as loud as you want if you turn the other direction and cheer with your teammates. So they do a nice job pulling the huddle together and saying, let's go.
Saw that with the UC San Diego match, and Josh Schellinger playing his former teammates, and they sort of were cheering back and forth at each other, and the officials had to be informed that, like, oh, they're like best friends. And the official says, but still, practice the normal.
You still can't say that to one another in the match. But yeah, there's some good spirited. These guys play together at the national level and the international level, out of season as well. They're very familiar with one another.
Shosha the serve. And another tie off the Haber termination, his 4th.
And another beautiful pass on Lewis's side by Nico Paula. He's just landing the ball right on the setter's head and allowing his setter to run a full offense on Lewis's side. These balls are coming fast, 65, 70 miles per hour. Nico Paula, Sawa doing a great job on serve receive.
5 straight ties now, 11 through 15. Tyler Olenga returns to the floor to serve for Lewis. Lewis in the second set hitting 312, Loyola 278. So overall, a good bounce back by the Flyers, but they want to get the set victory for the full bounce back as Schellinger with the attack error and Lewis back in front by 1.
And Schweitzer, a very nice job there to drop his hands into the seam because he did not have a middle closing that block and was left solo. Great solo block.
Shosha kept alive, put over by Todorov. Shosha again finds a different spot down in front of Todorov for his 9th kill. And so he's 1 away from having double-figure kills continue in all but 1 match this year.
this is more what we've seen from Shosha the rest of the matches, where it's this high energy. Everything you set him is a kill, and you can see him starting to click with Spitz Van Ooyen. Lewis is going to have to make sure that they know where Shosha is at all times.
Came in hitting .321 on the year. Top 5 in the conference. He's hitting .273 today. And that'll go up, as he does have his 10th kill. So double-figure kills in 10 of Loyola's 11 matches this year for Shosha. And still a long way to go in this one.
And Shosha also has done a nice job hitting a variety of shots. That was a hard line shot at libero Nico Paulo, who couldn't handle it. Cross court, middle back. So it's hard to dig someone like that then.
Quick for Bags, goes off the scoreboard ring, diving to the floor, Schellinger, as it came down with a much faster pace than anticipated. And then there's a triple block. Fabakovic, Mikkelsen, and Van Ooyen. All but one match going to be in conference play. They'll play a non-conference opponent this coming Saturday, Rockhurst, before 6 more NEVA matches here at Gentile. An attack error by Schweitzer, and it's 19-16 Loyola. And a challenge. Now Lewis, they're successful in the first one, hoping that there was a touch by the Rambler block this time around.
Yeah, a few of the Flyers signaling that they thought maybe a touch. It looked to me like he was at least aiming for high hands. Whether he got the fingertips or not, that's what the refs will look at. But again, Lewis challenged once earlier. They were successful, so they get their challenge back. They have 3 challenges. I don't see the fingers go back at all here, but we'll see. It's this middle hitter hand. Do the fingers move back at all? Does the ball change spin as it passes the block?
I almost wonder how it's almost impossible that it doesn't hit Mikkelsen with his length.
You would think, right? Yeah. All right, they do not have conclusive evidence. Ball missed, so they see the ball clearing the hands. Point stays with Loyola. But again, first loss challenge, so Lewis has 2 challenges for the remainder of sets 1 through 4. Of course, if they go 5, everyone gets an extra, blah, blah, blah. But as I always say, you can't take them with you, so.
Yeah, you get 1 extra if in the 5th set if you have fewer than 3.
Yeah, you can't rack them up. That would be pretty cool, though.
Hoying over to Haber. Play by Schellinger. Got 5 digs. Haber battling with Van Ooyen. Fabakovic, triple block, out of bounds.
Yeah, and that set on Lewis's side, still a little bit tight for their outside hitter. So Hoying put that ball just a tad tight. Didn't give his outside much room to work. They need to pull that set off the net a little bit. Loyola able to block that down and then earn the tool out.
Mentioned Schellinger with 5 digs. He had 10 in the McKendree match last week. And how about another? Fabakovic puts it over. Went over Bags, and that'll be point Loyola, 21-16. Lewis does have a timeout left, and they're going to use it. So we'll have no timeouts remaining here in the set. Took the lead at 14-13. Lewis back in front 16-15, but since then, the 6th straight for the Ramblers.
Yeah, but then we look at, Shosha 10 kills. The biggest kill gap over here is Haber at 4 on Lewis's side. It declined 5. There's just a lot more kills happening on the Loyola side in terms of productivity.
Yeah. Loyola with 26 kills for the match. Lewis with 13. As seeing Gautier Brozak check in for Daniel Haber on the Lewis side of the net. A freshman from Belgium. And he'll get an attack and get the kill. No. Now he did.
Nothing like coming off the bench having to pass the serve receive while run the offense. Great defensive scramble by Loyola's side. Schellinger almost had that, but well executed by Lewis's side. I think last time we talked it was 16-18, 16-19. That was a 5-point run there by Loyola. 5-6 points.
Yeah, overall it was 6 points, but right, we went to a timeout at 18-16 Loyola, and they got 3 more after the timeout. As that'll be an ace for Cole Schweitzer. And Schweitzer, his 2nd ace today.
It looked like he took a little something off of that and just dropped it in front of the Loyola serve receive.
And now some life for the Flyers. They get another point here. You might see Shane Davis use that second timeout. Soa to Van Ooyen. Shosha hit the antenna first, and it's a 2-point difference. Timeout Loyola. 21-19.
The one even. Will set 3 be Lewis? Will set 3 be Loyola? No one knows.
I mean, it's a sport in which you can tally fewer points than your opponent for the course of the match, but still win the match, as we have a
rogue ball, not a game ball.
I guess. It looks the same.
It's not as white, clean.
And that's hit into the net. Service error.
Coach's point, though, and maybe the official's point for making him swap the ball. I don't know.
And Aiden Delorier will come on to serve. Freshman from Eastport, New York. Loyola has 5 aces as a team today. Lewis has 4. And it's going to go high up near the roof, but comes down cleanly. Shosha got the block. Schweitzer, and that hit the antenna first. Point Loyola.
Now that was almost that same play that run where Shosha hit the antenna 2 points ago on the Loyola side. Ball gets away from you a little bit. You're hitting right-handed. The ball has to come across your body. Going down the line, perhaps that's what your teammate called, but you cannot clip the antenna. That is out.
23-19. Second serve for Delorier. Schweitzer tries again, but denied. No access granted by Klein and Fabakovic.
Yeah, great block there. They were able to identify, hey, this is going right side, right back. We're going to close that up there. But also, great serve by Delorier pulling that pass off the net. So he's causing disruption and allowing Loyola's block to get set in front of the hitter.
Set point, Loyola. And we'll have a second set point here in a moment.
Yeah, service there, but Delorier served twice before that. So a great job by the serving specialist to earn 2 points for Loyola.
Brozak will serve. Has a couple of aces on the year against 5 service errors. Playing in his 9th match out of 12 for the Flyers this year. And that'll end the second set. Loyola has a
higher, so you can see where the team has their sights set.
Oscar Berg-Mikkelsen serves to begin the 3rd set. And we are underway. And that's a mishit. Attack error by Brozak.
A nice swing. We saw him the first hit in the match in set 2, hit very well. That time looks like going for high hands on the outside and misses just a bit wide.
Well, Mikkelsen, I think some of his first real long extended time this season. He's tied his career high with 3 kills, and he set a career high with 4 blocks. 1-1, and Lewis will be on the serve.
We still have Hoying, number 2, who's serving, who's, I believe, setting this particular set again. So we saw number 12, Estrada, start setting and exchange of hands in that second set there over to number 2.
Yeah, left right at the beginning of the second set, Estrada did. Fabakovic goes cross court. Paula got it over. Klein just destroys the ball at the middle of the net for his 6th kill. He's 6 for 8.
For a second, he flew through the air so high there, I thought he was Mikkelsen. He really came in long, like well extended there. But we, of course, know Aiden Klein has been hitting fantastic. 750 on the night.
You know, Klein at his time, as Van Ooyen is serving, Klein at his time here at Loyola has gone from touching 11-8 all the way up to 12-1 and putting on 15 pounds of muscle in that time period as well. Schellinger on the back. Back row attack by Todorov. Ties it at 2.
That might be the most productive play that Lewis is running, which is that over on 2. So when the ball goes to the setter on Lewis's side, Hoying sets up the middle back immediately, and Loyola's not ready to block or play defense in that particular play.
Mentioned earlier, Loyola, their opponent hitting percentage a lot higher than they would hope, as Fabakovic dives here to the sideline to get the ball to Van Ooyen. Brozak, and there was a touch on the way through. It'll be 3-2 Lewis. Lewis, before that kill here, hitting .037. Should be the best defensive output of the year for the Ramblers, by far.
And Schillinger just not able to get out of the way. We saw a similar play by the Flyers in set 2. These balls coming so fast, and if it hits you, it's a point. So I guess if you don't know if it's going to go in or out, just hit someone's body.
Fabakovic on the serve receive, gets it back from Van Ooyen, spins it to the middle. Paula sprawling to the middle to get it. And a miss hit. And Lewis now 16 kills, 14 attack errors for the day. Loyola 27 kills with 9 errors. As J.J. Soa will need a little patch up on his right hand.
Take some time here. Can't have blood on the court, so wrap it up. This one looks like right between the fingers, though, so we'll see how they manage to sneak the Band-Aid in there. Loyola does not have a second libero dressed right now, so they will see if they can get the hand ready to go.
So, a senior from Orange, California. 8th in the nation in digs per set. He's had 10 or more digs 3 times this year. Tonight, 3 digs and an assist. But Schillinger leading the way with the 7 digs for the Ramblers today. Nico Paula, by the way, has 7 digs for Lewis. Honorable mention All-American last year. And there's Kruger Beer, his 3rd kill.
Nice job cutting around the block there because Aiden Klein was up, ready to block, and takes that hard, almost drops his thumb away, that wrist away shot to the left back corner. That's a nice cut shot.
And now Kruger Beer will serve. Soa, Van Ooyen to Schillinger. Tic-tac-toe for the point.
And Schillinger turns around and gives credit right back to Van Ooyen for that great set tempo. Schillinger, a great job hitting cross court. The middle blocker had just served on Lewis's side, so was playing defense in that left back. Whether Schillinger meant to or not, he's picking on the middle blocker, who's obviously just not the same passer as a libero.
Klein the serve. Paula on the serve receive. Hoying feeds Todorov, who's having a good night overall with his 3rd kill, has 3 digs as well.
And a nice job. That might be his first kill in the front row. He's won quite a few of those kills out of the back, so nice to see that outside hitter timing working out. And Mikkelsen on Loyola's side just a bit late to close the block there. Left a gap to hit into.
Schweitzer has 2 aces for the Flyers. Schillinger, Paula got a touch on it. Van Ooyen. And Fabakovic running in behind Mikkelsen. And that's a big screen. The defense probably didn't see Fabakovic coming. And then Shosha, they saw him coming, but it hasn't really mattered. He's got 11 kills now.
Yes, that's 2 and 3. Shosha has been pretty unstoppable for Loyola. It took a little bit of time to get running today, a little slower than what we've normally seen, but he has picked it up, and Lewis has not had a response for him.
Service error, though. Lewis back on top by a point, and Todorov to serve.
Feeling a little bit more like set 1, where momentum kind of swung back and forth. Team served in the net a bit. It was a little bit sloppy until it settled down. Soa
got it to Van Ooyen, keeping the Ramblers in system, and it pays off with the 12th termination today for Alexander Shosha.
Nice set there by Schmitz Van Ooyen, who was pulled off the court with the pass, able to lead Shosha so he could jump at the 10-foot line and land almost at the net.
Now Schillinger the serve. Hoying feeds Brozak. Good block touch for the Ramblers. Fabakovic, Paula with his 9th dig. Brozak block kept alive off the net. Brozak swings again and gets the point. Some energy brought onto the floor at the end of the second set by Godier Brozak, who gets a friendly face wash from a teammate there.
You know, when you get your first set start, a few good hits. One of the things that I've liked about Brozak since he's come in is he's hitting fearlessly. Loyola's had a few people who have kind of taken some steam off the ball, maybe played a little bit safe, and he's just going for it.
Fabakovic blocked. But a Mikkelsen this time, who has a new career high in his early career with his 4th kill. He's 4 for 4.
He's done a nice job being available, even coming off of that block, maybe not being in the perfect position, feeling like he's late. He's jumping and available to hit, and he's been able to earn kills off of that exact transition play.
And now serves. Brozak goes line, but it's wide. Point Loyola.
Really nice hit, though. He pounded
yeah, I like
that
what he's brought to the floor here.
very fast, missed by just a couple of inches, but that's a nice hit, a great line shot.
Taking advantage of the opportunity right now. He came in for Haber, and we haven't seen Haber since. And that's a block off the attack by Schweitzer. 7th block point for the Ramblers today.
And Klein and Fabakovic did a great job moving together to block that right back attack. Loyola's block is starting here towards the right because the setter's front row, so they're expecting the ball to come to the outside. They did a nice job tracking across the court.
Getting the side out is Kruger Beer. Loyola with 7 block points today. They had 4 against McKendree. They actually had 7 in the 4-set loss against Lindenwood.
And both teams seeing some good productivity when they're able to set the middle, so it's really about keeping that pass in front of the 10-foot line so that they can use all 3 hitters.
Van Ooyen to Klein, overpass. Go to Shosha this time. Paula backtracks for it, feeds Brozak. Triple block with Klein in the middle, Van Ooyen to his right, and Fabakovic to his left.
Well, that's a nice set by Nico Paulo, but a hard angle coming from 30 feet off of the court. Brozak is hitting almost blind to the block. You're trusting your teammates to call it. You're hoping that Loyola's block maybe isn't standing right in front of you. That's a hard angle to take a swing on.
Fabakovic now with 5 blocks today, leading the team. And Ramblers now 11-8 here in set 3.
We've had a few hitting errors back to back on Lewis's side. So we'll see again, that set looked a little bit low, but if the set is low, you're trying to still see if you can get it over the net, off the hands, tip it inbounds, improve the ball with each contact.
Just saw Haber check back in. He came in for Schweitzer. And it's Van Ooyen serving for the Ramblers. Go to Kruger Beer again, who continued his team high in kills night here with 5. He's 5 for 6.
And he's hitting well, and he's got good timing with Hoying, so I wonder if coach called Hoying over, said, hey, let's run that again. You know, like the middle is working, feed the middle if we can, but you need the pass in order to be able to set that middle quick.
A service error by Brozak. It's important to note that Lewis is without an All-American. And Ojan Ouz, who has now missed the last 5 matches. 2nd team All-American last year for Lewis, who also played at Hawaii a couple of years ago. So could be a different looking team if and when they get him back in the lineup. 12-9 or 13-9 Loyola, and Fabakovic, a 2-time All-American, will be serving. But first, we are getting a challenge from Lewis.
I think we're going to look at whether that ball was in or out on the end line. However, they can request to look at anything. Was someone in the net? Was there a back or attack violation earlier? Was this ball in or out? I think is what they're challenging here.
On the swing by Brozak. And it looks like it does clear that black tape there in the back. They also can check at the net, though, if there was a touch, like as you were saying.
Yep, because he hit low. I didn't see it clip hands initially. It looks long, but again, they might have asked to look for quite a few things. It looks like we might have, oh, maybe not. We're going back to the tape. I thought we might have had a verdict there, but we're still reviewing in terms of our officials. And again, the officials have some different angles than we have as well, so they might be looking at a few different plays. But we've got, this looks clean out to me. It's bouncing at the back of the A.
Yeah, I think that the A10 logo there on the court helps out in this instance.
And it doesn't look to me like it clips hands at the block. You can see our ref still checking, and again, it has to be irrefutable if they're going to overturn it, that there was a violation on Loyola, and it's Lewis's point. Otherwise, the call will stand.
If it stands, it'd be 13-9 Loyola here in the third set. They won the first set 25-18. Never trailed in that set. There were 2 ties. Then the second set, a little bit more back and forth. Had 9 ties and 4 lead changes. This set's had 7 ties and 2 lead changes. And the call will stay in Loyola's favor and a 13-9 lead.
And we'll see on the Lewis side if they do try to make any other adjustments, because they've got different players in for each other. So Schweitzer came in for Haber to start, then Todorov came in. They're just all flipping for each other. It'll be interesting to see if they do try to make an adjustment, who else might pop in.
Todorov picks up the kill going down the line. And also in here for Lewis is Josh Weyerhaeuser, a redshirt junior from Gurnee, Illinois. First time we're seeing him today.
It looked like he took the spot of bags maybe in this particular set.
He did play every set last week in the matches against McKendree and Lindenwood. And in the Lindenwood match, it's important to note that Sean Baggs didn't play at all in that match. And serving is Tyler Walenga. Van Ooyen, back set, Shosha, double block up against him. And that's, I don't want to say easy, but easier for Alexander Shosha to deal with for his 13th kill.
Shosha's jumping well above the outside blocker for Lewis, so he's got 5 to 10 inches to aim at there even when the block is fully closed. And then they're running that quick tempo on the back there, so beats him in a few different areas.
Shosha's 3-set high for kills this year is 14. He's up to 13 right now. Todorov and Shosha with Mikkelsen pick up Loyola's 9th block point. And that'll bring us to the timeout here in set. By far the best defensive performance that Loyola has had this season, conference or non-conference.
And you're talking about doing that against number 14 nationally, Lewis. I mean, both of these teams have played good competition, but to hold a top 20 opponent to almost 0, this definitely is Loyola's best defensive showing.
See Haber, we talked about off the top of this broadcast, 4 kills, 111, 2 errors. An ace, 2 dings, and a block tonight. Shosha ties that 3-set season high with his 14th kill.
Took him a while to get going, but he is feeling a bit unstoppable. And as you talked about earlier, Scott, when he goes to the back row, he might hit better. So now we see him swing to the back row where he's going to hit in that right back and continue to be unstoppable.
I would assume that on the bench there, they probably have a breakdown of his attacks and what he's hitting from a certain spot. So it might be something for a future to try to get those numbers. Again, he came into the day hitting 321 overall. Tonight hitting 323, but in that right back spot seems to click at a higher rate. There he is again, and there's kill number 15. It's like he heard us.
I think the Jim might know where they're going at this point. I mean, he's just rocking and rolling. On Lewis's side, we're seeing a lot of productivity out of the middle hitter, but again, they have to pass right to the setter's head. We'll see if they funnel it back to number 9 here.
Now Shosha's 5th match this season with 15+ kills. Todorov, well, we've seen him in that spot as well today for the Flyers, and do most of his work from the back row.
He's done a nice job hitting the right back, but also that 2-ball, the second contact coming up the middle, and then a few kills off the outside in this particular match. So we see him moving around.
Mikkelsen, Haber able to keep it up. Now Fabakovic. First touch was a block, and then you get to the floor, Soa, and then Shosha from the right back again for his 16th kill, like clockwork.
Almost doesn't seem fair. There's 3 blockers up on Lewis's side. There was a small seam, but how Shosha hits the exact small seam that they leave him every single time, I don't know.
364 now, the hitting percentage today. And Lucas Anderson. It's been in twice. This is the 3rd time we've seen him come on, and I think he served it 6 times, now a 7th time. And he won't get another one here, but certainly overall, you come in 3 times each set, and you end up serving 7 or 8 times. You've done your job overall.
That's an important side out on Lewis's side. And to note, when Anderson is serving at them, they have 4 people in serve receive. And you do not see that often in the game of volleyball. Typically, you have 3 serve receivers. Lewis actually putting 4 people back to pass against certain servers here.
Overpass off of Soa, then Van Ooyen blocking Brozak. Point Loyola in the end.
Maybe a little bit sloppy there. Aiden Klein not sure if someone's behind him, and will go down as a kill in the book for this. Although maybe a dig too. I don't know if you can get both at the same time. But we always talk about it's better to keep it alive and in the court. It caused chaos on the other side, and in that, Lewis is not ready.
Just trying to give Lewis a free ball, and they were not expecting it. As Kruger Beer picks up his 6th kill. He leads the way for Lewis today. Both of these teams have the same next opponent. Lewis will take on Rockhurst tomorrow down in Romeoville before Rockhurst will come up here to play Loyola on Saturday afternoon. So both teams will take a break out of MIVA play, as that'll be an ace. Into the front row here, and
that ball coming pretty quickly here.
I don't want to.
Clips an audience member maybe not paying enough attention.
I don't want to throw the guy behind me under the bus, but he's sitting next to a young lady, and just let the ball hit her in the head. I know you would never let that happen to me.
That's actually why I'm here. It's not to talk about volleyball. It's just to protect the table.
20-16 now.
So you spend the match hoping the ball doesn't come this way, but I'm very much looking for the audience participation.
Let's put him back on the bench.
This has been a strong serving rotation for Loyola, though, with Fabakovic back at the line.
Served by Fabakovic. A lot of commotion behind us. Van Ooyen saves it back for Fabakovic. Oh, that almost grazed the scoreboard ring there on the pass. Shosha, 17 kills for Alexander Shosha.
One of the things that stands out to me still is that Coach Davis told us at the beginning of the season that Shosha was a, quote, quiet contributor, but I see him being very loud after some of these kills. He is
I think
cheering,
he's growing
excited. He's more comfortable maybe with the program having transferred in. I don't think I'd consider him quiet anymore. I think he is a loud vocal contributor, and it's exactly what the team needs. Schillinger as well, very vocal.
And I think the atmosphere that he gets to play in here at home game, in and out,
you talked about the difference between last year and this year
than what he's used to in the past, and so he's really enjoying his time. We'll have a review from Lewis though here, as they are going to see if this ball went out of, well,
I think they might be questioning whether Sawa was behind the 10-foot line when he set the ball.
Okay.
Because the libero could only use that overhand set motion behind the line, and Sawa was close. I think that's challengeable because it becomes an illegal backer attack and illegal libero hands. But you can challenge typically, where did you touch the line? That's challengeable. So where are Sawa's feet here? I think that's what they're looking at.
Behind the line.
And then you can jump over it. You can jump in front of it. That looks behind to me, and the ball's out of his hands.
When he lands, yep.
Yep, that looks clean if that is what they're challenging. I don't know if they're looking at an earlier net violation. You know, they can, again, look at a lot of different things.
You could tell So was knew that he had to keep the feet the way he approached that.
He was pretty proud of himself. Ooh, center line violation, probably by Spence-Van Ooyen.
Center line violation, okay.
So if we remember, that was a long rally, but Spence-Van Ooyen at some point kind of scrambled by the center line to save the ball. I think that was this rally, but it was a long one. You cannot contact the other side of the court and disrupt the play in any way, cause the players to move around, disrupt what's going on there. Shane Davis getting an explanation, but I think says, yeah, okay.
So Shosha loses that 17th kill, and now it's 20-17. So Lewis, again, not out of this one completely.
21-16, very different than 20-17. But last match they were at 18-16, and they handled that red zone very well.
Van Ooyen, Schellinger gets it back to 21 for the Ramblers with his 6th kill. 7 digs and a block today for Josh Schellinger. Maybe not as prolific as we've seen him as of late, but don't necessarily need him to be as prolific when everyone else is contributing as well.
Yeah, Shosha has the stats of 3 people up there, so sometimes that's where it goes.
16 kills, 5 digs, 4 blocks. Long back set over to Haber. Out of bounds. 22-17 Loyola.
A bit of a miscontact on the hand there. Either overran it just a little bit, or maybe the set was behind him off the neck. That ball spun weird as it left his hand.
And Lewis has 2 timeouts left, the 26th. And so you're looking at, what, 6 weeks from now? That a lot is going to change between now and then. But for these 2 teams and for the league, most likely. And it came to the other side. And that ball was on the Loyola side of the net. 23-17.
You can chase the ball past the pole as long as you bring the ball back outside the antenna. You don't touch the opponent's court. That one not able to be recovered by the Flyers.
So 3 straight now with Delorier serving. Going to wrap this one up, the Ramblers are. Delorier puts that one in the court at 64 miles per hour. Schellinger cut it by the block. And despite the effort of Nico Paula, Loyola's up to match point.
Yeah, smart shot. Schillinger turned around and gave props to Fabakovic there. So I would imagine that Fabakovic said, like, roll shot, sharp cross.
Timeout Lewis and the fans behind us are they were up for the match point, want to see it, and then got to wait about a minute before it's.
And I think the other thing I'd toss out about both teams is we continue to see some lineup changes. So on Loyola's side, I mean, today we've got Mikkelsen in the entire time. Schillinger has entered the lineup and more or less earned that L2 hitting spot. Lewis has also changed players this match and other matches as well.
Match point for Loyola, the Delorier serve. And a miscue, and the Ramblers win it in 3. 25-18, 25-20, and 25-17 to get their 2nd straight win. Go to 2-1 in conference play, 7-4 overall. Lewis falls to 0-3 in league play, and now 6-6 the overall record. But again, they'll match up again in late March, and things could be a lot different the next time these 2 teams meet up.
For sure, I think we'll see similar lineups with a few variations. They'll probably